joy in finding all the ways in which you can help advance toward that vision. Our next speaker has committed his life and his career to doing it. Our guest this morning. He's written papers on the subject, he's given speeches on the subject, and has presented across the Atlantic and beyond, from London to Los Angeles, trying to share this vision and finding people who will join him in building this world that he imagines. As founder of at Vibes Caribbean Limited, you see, the word today is vibration. At Vibes Caribbean Limited, having conceptualized, experience, cultivate, Adrian Baker is responsible for bringing 12 years of research and 7 years of planning and development to fruition. With the vision Tourism Re-Engineered, he has grown the Vibes Caribbean team with the goal of delivering edutainment. Listen to that. It's not entertainment, it's edutainment experiences, sustainably developing MSMEs, and nurturing social and environmental awareness, regional integration, and a global ecosystem. In his role at Vibes Caribbean, Adrian brings over 25 years of experience in events. He has lent his expertise in the conceptualization and production of events throughout the Caribbean. And the story goes on, but if you all want to get the rest of it, you'll have to tune in another time. Adrian, welcome to the Every Cent Counts platform today. I understand, and you can expand on this, I understand that Vibes Caribbean is heading toward a significant anniversary. And I suspect that you are going to want to share with us all of the things surrounding them. So, without further ado, Adrian, the platform is yours.
A great morning to you, Mr. Thomas. A great morning to you, Sir Charles, and to Radio Land out there in New Era World.
Let me, let me stop you in midstream there, Adrian. I am seeing on my screen that you are being described as a chief evangelist. And I really wanted to expand on that, but go ahead.
Sure, no problem. So, evangelization is the transformation of minds based on awareness of new information. So, we're all evangelists at some time in our lives, some of us more often than others. So, it's simply that there are religious connotations to it because the religious people have taken an affinity to it and use it more than the others. But it should be a common English word. So my role as chief evangelist would be for our company, Vibes Caribbean Limited, that we share with the Caribbeans as people, the Caribbean diaspora, and those Caribbeans at heart globally, what the Caribbean energy is, the Caribbean vibration. As you said, that's the word of the day today. That vibration that resonates throughout the percussive sound of the drum that came from Africa, came to the Americas, and reverberates throughout the world. That says, I am a Caribbean.
All right. It's sounding very vibrative. I don't know if that is a word, but it's full of vibrations. And I couldn't help as you talked about the vibration of the African drum. I got a WhatsApp this morning, and it featured a pan tuner tuning an already chrome tenor pan. So when you said vibration, I was expecting you to say of the only percussive financial, no, musical instrument. As I tell you how every cent comes is getting to your consciousness. The only percussive musical instrument that was invented in the 20th, 21st century the steel pan. Well, it's actually 20th century because it was in 19,000 something that the invention took place. So it was the 20th century because we are now in the 21st century. So I thought you were going to go in the direction of the pan.
I could have, but there's too much to be said, and with only 60 minutes, I wouldn't want to dive into that. But the pan is something close to my heart, and I've been blessed with an opportunity to work with a fabulous organization, the World Steel Pan Trust of Trinidad and Tobago, who is responsible for us even having the World Steel Pan Day. That's been celebrated a couple of times, and the growth potential of that World Steel Pan Day is tremendous. So you were not necessarily wrong in mentioning the financial, in just the placement and the timing, but it's still right. The financial potential and the rewards are astronomical. Still, we at Vibes Caribbean, we have a focus on the people and the culture and ensuring that the capital gains do not come at the cost of the value and the love of the culture for Trinidad and the Caribbean.
Okay, so tell us about Vibes Caribbean. You've made mention of a number of things, but give us the essence, the ethos of what brought Vibes Caribbean into being.
Sure. Long version or short version? So the Caribbean, the time that we have here. So Vibes Caribbean is a people-centered business hub for social enterprise. Fancy words for saying good people doing good business for good people. That's
good. Well, you know, my only problem with the good is that it should be great. Anyhow, go ahead.
This is the genesis. So we have to start somewhere. Let's give them something that they can feel an affinity to.
All right.
Yes. And should I live that 800 plus years that you want to live, then we can aspire for the great in that time. Yes. So that idea would have come from my own personal family origins and legacy. My family were the first flag makers in the English-speaking Caribbean. And they made flags for Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, company flags, national flags, seaworthy flags. And their legacy is built on something tangible, something that you can feel, the flag, the fabric. And now I want to continue to create my own legacy as a flag maker, galvanizing the Caribbean in the digital space. And that's why using the people as the fuel and also the driver for galvanizing the Caribbean throughout the world as a positive space, of positive people, and a resource to be leveraged and celebrated, not just exploited.
Okay, so technically, Vibes Caribbean is a part of the legacy of Baker's Flags, because I think that was the name, or you didn't mention the name, but I think that was the name of the company that your parents founded and developed, Baker's Flags. Is that correct?
It's a continuity of the Baker legacy, yes.
Okay, great. And it emanates from that Caribbean ethos, because you said it, they did flags for Trinidad and Tobago and many other Caribbean islands. Is that correct?
Yes, well, when there are no flag makers in the English-speaking Caribbean and the countries of the West Indies at the time were being made independent, they're seeking their independence. Either you got flags from England or you got flags from Baker's Flags in Trinidad.
Okay, great. All right, so continue, sir, with Vibes Caribbean, yes.
So we have a desire to see the Caribbean potential realized, the the warmth of the people when they're happy, the way that anyone who recalls that November 16th, 2005, when we edged Bahrain with a header from a defender, the way the streets of Port of Spain, and I imagine the whole of Trinidad would have been that day, the way that we all stood together quietly at the now Hazy Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain when we did not qualify for 1 point to the FIFA Soccer World Cup in 1989. Well, the World Cup was 1990 in Italy. And all these different things you have on the avenue, the way that the people come out and there are no Woodbrook or Laventel or Chagonas. There's just pan people. These are the things that are beautiful for us as people and need to be celebrated and focused on. We can talk about all of the negative stuff and the challenging stuff all the days, but if you aren't doing anything about it, nothing is happening. So the idea would be to put energy into the areas that we can actually do something with. We can control, we can manipulate, and we can realize something better in hopes of being great, from good to better to great.
Well, with the hope is great, there's nothing wrong with hope. Hope is great, but I look for perhaps a little something that is a little more, what can I say, definitive than hope. That we won't just hope, but we're going to put all our energy into making that hope come alive. Yes?
You mean experience? So from
all right. I see you pick up on the little experience. So Vibes Caribbean is an experience. All right. Tell us about some of the ways that you anticipate, that you project, that Vibes Caribbean will create this kind of experience for Caribbean people, Trinidadian and Caribbean people as a whole.
Okay, so imagine 500 years ago, someone traveled by boat and came upon an island and met some people living on that island. These people were independent. They had food, they had clothing, they had shelter, they had their beliefs, they had their customs, they had their entertainment. And this isolated island with these people, they cultivated their own food, their own crops, their own culture. That's an independent state. That's an island. That's people who are interdependent and independent. Imagine now just having that model. You have the different cultures of Trinidad and Tobago. Present day, the different cuisines, the arts, the entertainment, all to be celebrated, all to be experienced for one day. You can visit a 12-month journey through Trinidad and Tobago, packaged as a 6-hour event experience. You can get from Christmas to Diwali, the food, the entertainment. Education can happen, of course, if it's done well. The experiences, the indulgences, all the different things that make us Trinidad and Tobago, the vibrant people that we are, the sexiest accent, all the things that people love about us that force them to travel to the most expensive carnival in the Americas to attend, the things that make them come back the following year. You can experience that. That's our pilot project Experience Cultivate on Ash Wednesday. And I would encourage
Give us that name again. What is it?
Experience Cultivate.
Cultivate.
Yes, correct.
All right.
Experience Cultivate, a culinary and cultural showcase of Trinbago on Ash Wednesday when we have the largest number of visitors. We're looking forward to having a large number of visitors next year. We know there's some things happening, but we'll focus on the positive. And for the locals and the people who are residents here to also expand their own knowledge and awareness of what we do in Trinidad that makes us Trinbago and the envy of the rest of the Caribbean.
All right. So, as you speak, I'm thinking about the word vibration. Okay, what is it about that word that really captures the experience that you're outlining there?
We transmit and our people receive the signal. Those who actually feel the vibe, feel the energy of the people of the Caribbean, then that communication loop is closed and the vibration happens between us. It's a signal to noise that's happening.
Right.
And so you do not have to be of the Caribbean or born in the Caribbean or know anything about it, but there's a time and space where you hear a sound, you taste a pot or a delicacy, or you feel that drum, that reverberation, and it connects you to your kindred spirits of the Caribbean without whether you know it or not.
No translation needed.
We see each other. We feel each other.
All right. Well, you know, I was listening to a Parang song over the weekend. And it isn't that I had not heard it before, but it was only this weekend as I was listening to it that it struck me, because the Parang song talked about Parata. And I'm saying to myself, Parata doesn't have Christmas origins. But here it is in Trinidad. I think that we have such a remarkable culture that here it is in Trinidad, you have Parata being part of Parang. What are your thoughts?
That's simple. That's keeping it Trini. The maracas is popular here. It come from here. The shak shak, the pastel, the peony, the accra, the buljol. So many different traditions that we have here. So many
the
different.
Black cake, boy. You leave out the black cake, boy. Oh, you can leave out black cake.
We only have 60 minutes there. All of these different experiences that we have that make us Trini. Mm-hmm. The Parang would have started originally migrating from the mainland, and from it we got the soca Parang, we got the chutney Parang, we have soca coming from calypso, we have chutney soca, all these different smaller subgenres that make up our unique people and our unique heritage that we can't really tell people how to feel on radio. Mm-hmm. We can only invite them to experience with us what we get to enjoy, where they get to holiday.
Do you think that this rich cultural tapestry that is our culture has been sufficiently exposed to international audiences, or is it a best kept secret?
That's a tough one. And maybe not for the reasons that many people would consider. Yes, we have a lot of people who know about Trinidad and Tobago and the wealth of our treasure chest. Still, we should ask the question, are we organized as a people? Are we organized to have these industries properly and effectively run by our own people, that when it gets out on the international market, the treasures that we have can be leveraged and not exploited?
What
So maybe we should grow in tandem with what the potential is.
is this a part of the Vibes Caribbean target? Is it a part of the intention?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. The Vibes Caribbean business also has another business unit called the Color Dreams Exchange, which would be the business hub focusing on development of the human capital, the resources that are the people. You have the small businesses in the country who are working in silos. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to do. They're learning on their own. Google and get some information. The website doesn't have all of the information. You call and you experience the customer service. You think it's bad in Trinidad. You don't realize it's bad the world over. You're not getting better customer service anywhere without potentially experiencing worse customer service than we have in Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine I'm living on a street and there are three other businesses that business owners that live on that street, small businesses attempting to start up. Each of us just find out we have to go and register at Legal Affairs Attorney General's office. The three of us stop what we're doing in working on our businesses to go to Legal Affairs to do that business registration. Lose that day or half a day, depending on how lucky you are, and then come in and attempt to work out on a business plan. When one business owner can go and the two others can stay back and work on the business plans and just have a framework that the collective of businesses can benefit from, a network. That's the thinking that we have in mind. And we're giving this a chase to see if it can work now. I believe it can. We're going to give it a try to see if it actually works.
Okay, so Saturday coming, that is Saturday, what, 13th?
That's correct.
Is what anniversary of Vibes Caribbean?
It would be us having launched Experience, Cultivate, and a celebration of Vibes Caribbean, the initiative to do this culture, this heritage, and this business, this people as a business resource organization that we are doing, this movement.
It's a launch, it's not an anniversary. I thought it was an anniversary.
It was a launch and an anniversary. We've had years of growing this business, and December is a significant time on our calendar. But the idea would be we're doing the launch of Vibes Caribbean from the research and development stage of the past 8 years, it transforming into an operational business where we have the platform, the website, the marketplace for these businesses, the hub, and some other surprises I can't tell you about just yet.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be surprises. Okay, so where is this going to happen?
This would be at Nallis Library at the media room on the first floor, and Nallis Library in Port of Spain, which is 23 Abercrombie Street in Port of Spain. And this starts from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It would be the launch of Vibes Caribbean Limited and our Colored Dreams Exchange marketplace and community platform.
Okay, so who is invited?
The businesses in our Vibes Caribbean network, the small businesses who are emerging, established, and even some export-ready businesses who are socially minded and willing to work on their business and their customer service to improve the customer service standard that we deliver to our people, because we care a little more.
Okay, what can we expect? when we come to this launch on Saturday at Nallis. It's Nallis, you said, right? Nallis, that is Nallis headquarters on is Abercrombie?
That's correct.
And,
Abercrombie
and
Street,
Abercrombie
the
Street.
corner of,
It's a whole block, so it's kind of hard to miss, yeah. All right.
you can expect vibration. Vibes Caribbean will be there. We'll be vibrating.
Caribbean
Sending
vibes. Yeah.
energy. Yes.
So there's music. I mean, I think it was Shakespeare who said, if music be the food of love, play on. But we Caribbean people, apart from the music that we love, and apart from it being a kind of food, we also like the kind of food that we could put in the mouth,
Yes. Yes. Those treasures will also be in attendance, will also be present.
So we can expect some fairly comprehensive range of culinary delights. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot.
You're speaking about Ash Wednesday.
Oh. Well, a little preview, a little foretaste.
Yes, the launch we would be presenting on Cultivate as well, the Ash Wednesday event, as well as our La Navidad Parang Jam, which happens on the 19th of December at Trinity College Mocha in Maraval. So it'll be
give me run that past me again, just in case everybody missed it. There are 2 events.
That's correct. So Saturday the 13th of December at Nallis Library, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. would be Vibes Caribbean's business launch and the launch of our Colored Dreams Exchange, Marketplace and Community Platform. And the following Friday before Christmas, the Parang event is called La Navidad Parang Jam. And the idea would be that everyone can fit in the Paramin village to have that Parang experience. And so we're bringing that Parang model to somewhere that's a little more accessible to the audience that's willing to travel and get some good Parang and traditional Christmas experiences.
Which is where? Where's the La Navidad Parang Jam taking place?
La Navidad Parang Jam will be at Trinity College Mocha Tennis and Basketball Courts in the Mocha Estate, Maraval.
Okay. So
and that's
people don't miss it. Yeah. All right. So
on Friday, the 19th of December.
Time.
6 p.m. to 12 midnight.
6 p.m. to 12 midnight. So that's up in Mocha.
Yeah. That's right. On the Friday. It starts early, finishes early. We know everyone still have painting and last minute running around. Get to the mall early to stay late on the Saturday before Christmas.
All right. That's in
so
line.
Leave happy.
Huh?
Come early, leave happy.
Come early and leave happy. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Whatever.
Come to be edutained.
I'm happy that you use that word because I've never heard that word before. Edutainment. Tell me something about this edutainment thing.
It's a pairing of education, which is important, and entertainment to create something that is easily discernible and easily shareable.
Okay.
So we talk about Trinidad Carnival being beach and bikini and being fun for everyone enjoying it. You can talk also about the history of the carnival, the history of the steel can, and the Tambule riots, and all of these things that give you a greater appreciation for what you're able to experience today over the 150-year history of the carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as where it came from, the other deeper origins.
All right. Yeah. I am thinking of the word potential. That isn't the word for today, but I think vibration speaks about potential. Is that correct? You don't think vibration and potential have some kind of a relationship?
Yes, of course. you have your vibration, and the longer you have that vibration, the further it can resonate to different spaces, to different materials, to different spheres, and it can be felt by others, other bodies, other entities. So let's keep on vibrating. Just make sure it's positive.
Yes.
Because
So
what you put out into the universe, probably expect.
it's a critical component of communication, isn't it?
Know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yes, but
All right. And the tenor of it, and I use the word tenor deliberately because when I say tenor, of course you think about tenor pan, but but the tenor of that vibration is relatively unique, or should I take out the word relatively? I should just say it is tremendously unique. Yes.
maybe unique for people coming together to use it as a resource at this time, in this time and space now. But we have other experiences of it in Trinidad and the world over through history where people come together and do great things. It's it's a similar equation, it's the same equation, just different ways.
All right. How do you think Cultivate and Vibes Caribbean reflect the tremendous experience that is our carnival? Hard question.
So no, it's again, it's just to put so much into this little bit of time that we have. Maybe we should have our own radio station so we can talk about this all day. I I was thinking
Whet
back
our
to
appetite. Yeah.
one of your guests from a few programs, a few episodes back on this very program, Mr. Patrick Roberts, a former art teacher at Trinity College in Mocha during my tenure, and I say one of the mentors that I take very, very seriously, and one of the best people I've ever met. Not because he's very nice or very easy to deal with, just because he's very real, and in his realness still inspires you, the strength in you to come out. Carnival is definitely our most powerful resource. The carnival that we have is a result of the people that we have. If we can treat the people well, if we can inspire the people, if we can create an enabling environment for the people, culture would naturally come out. So the hope is that Vibes Caribbean, we can just be agents for that positivity that's out there, the good vibes that's already out there, the good people that are there, the good people that outnumber the bad stuff that is happening. They just reserve themselves in their corners mostly. We create a space where they feel empowered to come out and enlighten others. Hey, we're still here.
If you had to put some numbers on the potential of this re-engineering of tourism, I think that's the term you used, a
That's
re-engineering of the tourism product. If you had to put some numbers, some dollars and cents, data on the potential that exists for revenue, because we are in a situation as a nation where revenue, and the part of the program that preceded this, there was a lot of discussion about whether the government have money to pay back pay and stuff like that. So let's bring the focus, zero in the focus, and let's talk about this treasure that we have, which it seems to me is seriously underappreciated and underpromoted, and therefore underutilized.
okay. So Trinidad and Tobago has usually around 120,000 visitors annually. Our Trinidad Carnival last 2024, the arrival numbers from the Ministry of Tourism and Culture were 27,000 in 2024 for Trinidad Carnival. That same February last year, St. Lucia recorded 38,000 visitors. It's just February in St. Lucia. Trinidad Carnival records between 58 and 66 million US dollars, depending on your source. And Caribbean tourism has 32 million arrivals annually, generating 66 million. I'm sorry. It's 1.2 billion US dollars. The global tourism market is 11.1 trillion with a T, trillion US dollars. 11.1 trillion with a T, US dollars. I don't look old, but I'm old enough to recall when we would blush at the mention of the word million. We should be organizing ourselves more around tourism in our consciousness. Not that all businesses can be in the tourism sector in Trinidad and Tobago, but I dare say you can be thinking about being supportive of these businesses that are in the tourism industry, which makes you part of the industry.
Okay, supportive in terms of what, like sponsorship and stuff like that? I see that there are a number of steel bands are now looking for sponsors.
Sponsorship is gone in a meaningful way for who knows how long. It's not expected to retain, in, at least not in the way that it's been for a while to come. If steel pans are having challenges with sponsorship, imagine everyone else that drives the culture, the grassroots. It's going to be a challenge. So we need to understand that the gift giving is gone. For whatever reason, it's gone. At this time, our focus should be on how do we organize ourselves to lift ourselves up. And I'm thinking maybe culture has something that we can tap into. And if we organize ourselves into smaller business communities, smaller businesses that work together and work to improve each other, together we can work with the culture and the cultural practitioners of the country to create a unique experience for our businesses in this space at this time that we can all benefit from. So we may not be able to sponsor a steel band the way that there's one logo.
Yeah.
But look at those race car drivers, their uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And think outside the box. But this has to happen in certain spaces. We have to create those safe, and then we've already created safe spaces to speak, to talk about whatever we feel people need to know about.
Yeah.
That's happening. Now, let's create brave spaces where action can start to happen. Plans can start to form into action.
All right. So we are running out of time. So Charles, I don't know if you want to open up. We've touched on a number of things that I feel are very provocative at a national level. I don't know if you want to open up the lines and see if we have some people who would want to put their 2 cents in on the conversation. Yes?
Yeah, of course. That is always welcome news, Scott. So, people, the lines are open to you. 281-1315. That's 281-1315. So, give us a call if you'd like to get information or add anything to the conversation. Now's a good time for you to call us.
Yes.
So,
So Adrian, you called some serious figures here. What was the $1 trillion figure?
11.1 trillion US dollars.
That
That
was
was
spent in
2020.
2024 in the tourism sector internationally.
That's
So
correct.
so we don't even get that. We're not getting even a 1% of that. That's what it's sounding like to me, because you called some figures there. And I thought that I'm asking you the question because I want those figures to be called again, because I don't think that we understand that we are sitting on our gold mine. Go ahead.
It's how we organize ourselves. If we do not have enough medium to large size venues that can attract international visitors, that they feel comfortable going to heritage and festival, to spending on heritage and festival, the way that they can in Glastonbury, the way that they can in Austin, Texas, it's going to be a challenge.
But there must be some way. There must be some gradient that we can move up bit by bit to get to that point. My point is, here we are with a diminishing resource that are two diminishing resources that are the pillars of our economy, and that we are feeling the pinch because they are diminishing and because price is not something that we can control. Yes? So of course I'm talking about the energy sector, all right? Oil and gas. So here on the one side, I'm saying we're having a diminishing resource over which we have little control relative to price. On the other side, we have an inexhaustible resource. And I am deeming it that way. I don't know if you agree with me. Our culture ain't going nowhere. It is not evaporating. It is not a diminishing resource by any stretch of the imagination. We have the only percussive musical instrument that has been invented in the 20th century. That is ours. We have an export of our culture, which is our carnival, that has been exported widely, but we don't get any money from. Yes? And that exportation has taken place primarily through Trinities who live abroad. So here we are. What do we do? All right, with this resource that we have, and I suspect my suspicion was that Vibes Caribbean was born out of the realization that this opportunity was there, smiling at us, and we refused to smile back.
That is, yes, the genesis of Vibes Caribbean. And knowing that's a deep rabbit hole that you're beckoning me to go down when we don't have a lot of time remaining. We could talk all day at the University of Woodford Square on this, and so much can come out of it. I will say this: change happens two ways: evolution and revolution. Our carnival came from a revolution, which has now evolved. What we can do is start having more conversations with the people who are interested in seeing how these things can change, how these things can improve, and a desire to actually see it done. Not just to get a free meal, we'll talk, and go home until the next time there's an opportunity to do so.
Well, on this program, I have been trying to provoke conversations around what Trinidad and Tobago will look like, feel like, and taste like by the year 2050. Now, the year 2050 is 25 years away. It's almost, 1 year has almost gone. So it's looking more like 24 years away. What do you see by 2050 happening to our culture and our recognition and embracing of our culture and the promotion of our culture to sustain us economically?
Great question. My favorite local entertainer, King David Michael Ruther, said in an interview maybe 20 years ago, as a society, we are decomposing as we are recomposing.
Say that again. Say that again. I like that. I didn't hear it before. Say it again. As a society,
we are decomposing as we are recomposing.
Okay.
Carnival that we are fighting about, that we are back and forthing about, has existed for 150 years. Carnival will be there in the next 25 years, in 2050. What the carnival is going to look like, we don't know. But we who care enough have bear that burden of responsibility to impact, just nurturing it in the direction that we would like to see it go. Nothing happens if nothing happens.
Wow. So I am saying then, as a native of this land, that as I look forward, as I look to the future, I suspect, I was saying the other day that the five-year-olds today in 25 years' time will be 30-year-olds. And they will be a critical element of the society responsible for its operation and responsible for moving it forward. What do we do? They say train up a child in the way that it should go. So that when we talk about education, and you see you have edutainment, sorry. All right. When we talk about education, how can we impact on the minds of our young people who will have to carry the burden of either our success or failure? What are you have any ideas as to how we can help them to live in a realization of the power of their culture and of the tremendous value that the culture carries within us, within our lives and our national life in particular?
The answer is provocative. At least the answer that I can come up with. Share that tablet time, that device time that they have, and that device that we use as well. We are guilty of it as well. Take that 5-year-old to the mass camp. Let them see the wire bending happening. Let them hear the stories. Take them to the panyard. Let them sit while the practice is going on. Hear the stories. Experience something different from what is going on in the rest of the world. Because that's what we have and that's what we are losing. That's edutainment. So when that pan plays on Carnival Saturday night in the finals, they hear it, but more importantly, they feel it because it's them.
All right. So do you see social media having a role to play in terms of the proliferation of that experience, which most of our young people seem to lack?
It's a useful tool if managed properly. The different tools that we have to understand what their capacity is, how to use them effectively to achieve the objectives that we have in mind.
Okay,
there's a local radio that music that will not be played on local radio, and they organize their own industry, and now it's unstoppable. That's
What's that?
Their local music that is not played on local radio, but they've organized their own industry.
Who is that?
The Trinidad genre.
Huh?
The Trinidad genre. They do their own production, their own distribution.
I'm not familiar with it, but I suspect we are run out of time. I hear Sir Charles raising the team in the background. So Sir Charles.
Definitely, so. But you're right. The Trinidad music has
hint.
no off in that kind of way. But as I say, God, I mean, if you're not into it, you would know it, you know. You know. But it has gone.
Yeah.
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 All right, but that's where we have to leave it for today. We are closer to 12 o'clock. So, God, any final words inside of this session as we wrap?
Yes, well, I trust that the vibration that we have sent out this morning will find fertile soil, that seeds will be planted, and that the process of cultivation will be rapid, and that we should see a forest growing up of culture conscious people who, because it is their own, will themselves experience tremendous sense of self-worth and value. So if anybody who did not get a chance to call into the program this morning, you can get me at 680-3185. 680-3185. WhatsApp me, give me a name, give me a email address, and let us have a conversation. I want to take the opportunity to thank the Chief Evangelist of Vibes Caribbean, Adrian Baker, for sharing some of his thoughts and perspectives with us this morning, and to wish him the best with the launch next week, Saturday. Remember, it's the 13th at Nalis, and on the 19th, the Parang, can't remember the name of it.
La Navidad Parang Jam.
La Navidad Parang Jam at Trinity College grounds in Mocha. Thank you, Adrian, and thank you, Sir Charles, and all our audiences, local and foreign.
Okay, people, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you very much, God. Thank you very much, Adrian, for being here on New Era TT Radio. We have our news that is straight ahead.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean.